What's up, guys? Hello, everyone. We're just trying to finish up our normal routine stuff. Just checking my audios and trying to make sure that the whole stuff is working. I got everything working together. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. I think the audio is actually good right now. I don't think we have issues with the audio. Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, we kind of like didn't stream for the past I think 2 days. Yeah, it's not up to 3 days, but I think 2 days so far. We haven't streamed on our project that we're currently building, which is a flutter um to do app, which we call kind of like called fake Dona app. That's funny. But that's the name of the app. We kind of still have to continue with that. That there's a whole lot of stuff we wanted to build that we haven't kind of like completed yet. But looking forward to see how that goes on. So yeah, right now this is currently how our app is like at the moment. And the last time we actually streamed, that kind of like we kind of like fixed a lot of problem that it took us almost an hour to try to debug. At the end of the day, we weren't able to actually debug anything. We didn't succeed. Yeah, that was actually bad. Yeah, we kind of like tried a whole lot of stuff, like yeah, trying to see how to. And the issue was basically trying to delete Bloc to dos. Yeah, we are trying to find a way to delete Bloc to dos in our code, because currently we are using Isar DB for our database, and we tried to do that, but we didn't actually find a way to do it with Isar DB, and we finally kind of like stopped the stream due to that and something like that. But kind of like did a little bit of research on my own. I was able to find it on Isar DB website. It was actually there, but we couldn't see it during the day we were actually trying to see how to solve the issue, but we couldn't find it that same day. But I actually later on tried to dig a little bit deeper, and I found some ways to actually achieve it, and that's basically here. If you want to do a bulk delete, this is how to delete bulk items. So basically you can just give it an arrays of IDs, and it will just use the IDs to delete all those objects or data from your database. So yeah, this is what we're actually missing that day to do. But yeah, kind of like was able to find it, and we'll be kind of I will show you guys how to do that and how that's working. So let's go ahead and start working. Here we go. Currently right now I'm going to create a new list, so just basically create a new list, and we're gonna try the delete on it. So I'm gonna call this dummy list. So there we go, these are dummy list, and I'm gonna choose an icon for it. I don't know which icon to choose, but let's see. So what about colors? We can actually choose a color for it. Let's try yellow. Yeah, I think yellow is okay. Then we can just go ahead and save this, enter, and you can actually see the list is saved. Once you select it, you can see the overlay over here showing that these are yellow and everything, yellow icon and the name of the list and whatever. And now we can just go ahead and start adding to dos inside this particular list that we created. So I'm gonna add dummy 1, go ahead and save, add another one, dummy 2, go ahead and save, and last one will be dummy 3, and then we can just go ahead and save that. And right now we want to do kind of like a bulk delete. So how do we bulk delete? So basically double tap, and you can actually see our drop down selections or actions to do. So I just want to delete, just tap on delete. It will basically delete the whole stuff. Yeah, and that is working right now, but I'm going to show you the code behind that. So if you go to our repository, so basically our repository is where our data is kind of like hangs around, is where our UI talks directly, so kind of like feeds our UI data. So that's basically why we call it repository and something like that. So these are repository, and this is our DB storage repository. So this is basically the function that's behind being able to delete items, bulk items from the DB. So this is the function that's behind that. So let's go in here and actually see what this function does. So I have this function called delete to do list, and we have an Isar DB instance right here. We have main list. Basically we are kind of filtering out the particular list that we want to delete, and once we get hold of that, next we want to get all the to-dos within that particular main list, all the to-dos that's inside this main list. We want to get hold of every one of them, and we want to get hold of the IDs of those to-dos and convert them to a list. And then in here, instead of transaction, what we need to do is basically pass all those IDs of the to-dos that we want to delete inside this delete all right in here. And after that is been done, we just go ahead and delete the list itself. So first of all, we delete all the to-dos within the list before we go ahead and delete the list, so as not to actually going to have a problem with that. So I think it's much better to go through this medium. Yeah, can I find this much better? So yeah, basically that was it. That's how to actually get the bulk delete working, and also be able to delete a list and also a to-do. If you want, and that's another cool thing about it, that whenever you delete a list, you can actually see our backend starts from the beginning, which is home list, kind of like points towards the home list and shows us everything in the home list there. So that's actually cool. Next stuff we can actually talk about. So we went through how to delete a list and its to do. So we just concluded that right now. Next stuff will be how to edit a list. So yeah, so I actually did some stuff on that. So basically trying to delete a list, just double tap and just tap on delete. Edit, not delete. So basically want to edit a list, not delete a list. So tap on this right in here, and you can actually be able to delete. So if you tap again, you can actually see that now you are able to delete a list. You can just delete, change it. I can just say personal, no, still personal, and I can decide to change the colors, icons. If you want to change a new icon for that particular list, whatever you want to do, you can still do that. But in our own case, we haven't been able to hook up the functionality for this yet, so you can't actually be able to save this. So if you go ahead and hit the enter key, it will not actually save. If you go ahead and restart our app, you can actually see that it kind of like restart. Yeah, still back to normal, so nothing changed. Yeah, if you try that again, try to edit, and you tap on this to edit. Let's say we change this to personal edit, and then change the icon. We are still going to fix all these issues that we are having an error right here, so we still have to fix that. Let's say we select an icon to be yellow. If you go ahead and save this, because I said that this is not actually being persisted, so we are not persisting the edit. If you go ahead and restart your app, all the changes will be gone. So yeah, all the changes will be gone. So basically that's one issue that we have to fix. But before we actually go ahead and fix that, like I said, if you're on YouTube, I don't know if I posted that on Twitch. Yeah, I didn't post that on Twitch. I just found that see that right now. But basically on YouTube, I posted on the comment section. I was talking about a new flutter widget I found. from the flutter documentation. I haven't used that before, but I just kind of found that that's actually a widget called editable test. It works like an input, a normal test field input, but in this case it's actually a test that you can actually edit. It's called editable, and I think it's actually a great widget, because previously, let's say we kind of like similar stuff we are doing here previously, what the only way to do this is that you can actually conditionally be able to add two widgets here. One will be a test input field, and the second one will be a normal test field, whereby if someone taps on it, you can decide to hide the test input field and show them the test field, the normal test widget, or you can make the test input field read only. I think test input field also have that function, right, that feature, to make it read only. Yeah, but I think the editable test is much better. Not this. I'm talking. This is not. It's not a package. I'm talking about new flutter widget itself. Yeah, editable test. So this much better. And that's what we are using right here. I will show you the code. So there's a code for that. Guys, feel free to drop me a comment on the chat. So just drop a chat. There will be interacting to everyone, both on Twitch and also on YouTube. Just drop a chat. So this is actually the code behind this right here. So it's called custom button, and instead of custom button, we are actually using the editable test. Yeah, so we switched over from test. Previously we are using normal test for this, and we switched over to use editable test because we want to be able to edit these list items and whatever, every single one of them. So that's why we are using the editable test right there instead of using normal test, and that works perfect for what we want to do. So right now, the next step, we want to be able to actually have a way to save every edit that we make it. So let's go ahead and get that working. So right in here, what I'm going to do is that I want to be able to know when the user submits their edit. So in that case, when the user hits the enter key, when the user hit the enter key on the keyboard or the done button on their mobile phone keyboard, so in that way we can be able to save this edit, or we can actually add an icon that will actually kind of like overlay over here that shows, okay, when the user taps on it, they can be able to save it. Anyway, any method we choose actually works, but I'm just trying to let you guys know that many other ways we can actually achieve that. Let's start with the form submitted. So when this is submitted, so it's called not unchanged, on editing complete, unsubmitted. Yeah, I think unsubmitted one is what we want. Called when the user indicates that they are done editing the text in the field. Okay, so this is the one we are looking for. You can actually use on editing complete. So this is called when the user submits editable content. Example, user places the done button on the keyboard, the default implementation of editing complete. Okay, yeah, I think we can actually use editing complete. So let's try that one. So this doesn't pass any data to us. Let's try. Okay, we are using the test editing controller. Should go ahead with it. Right in here, I'm going to use an if statement. And we are going to check to make sure that our controller is not empty. Basically, our tests, any test that's in here that is not empty, make sure that this is not empty. So I'm just going to use controller for that. I'm going to say controller.test. So this is actually a better way to do this. Just add a controller to test input field or editable test to get access to every input the user actually types in there. We're going to check if this is not empty. It's not empty. If that's true, for now, go ahead and log the test for loss within the editable test. In this case, that should be, what was it again? Remember? Okay, yeah, that should basically be controller.test. Yeah, I get it. That's right. That's controller.test. And once we have that, so I'm going to save this. Let's take this for a test drive and see how this works. So tap, double tap, edit. Now let's change this to personal edit, and then change the color, and let's hit the enter key. Let's see if that works. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, so that something is wrong. I'm gonna try this again. Edit. So we have edit. So hit the enter key. Okay, yeah, that works. So it shows us a personal edit on our keyboard whenever we hit the enter key, but that's an issue. This is still showing up within our screen, so we have to find a way to actually hide this. We don't want this to be showing up when the user hit the enter key. Let's close it and try. Okay, this shows. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on this. So when the user hit the enter key, we want to be able to get the access to what is being typed in here, which is what is actually working right now. We're able to get access to it. You guys could actually see we console logged it out previously. You can actually try that again. Just hit enter. You can actually see that being console logged out on the screen for us. So let's see next stuff you can actually do. So we want to be able to save this. So where do we actually save? And we are not actually passing any stuff in here, like this within our app in here, so it doesn't make sense to actually pass it in. What we could actually do is to pass up kind of like uplift the child, this function, the function of this, up to the parent. So this is not a parent, so this is actually a child to a parent widget, so we have to lift it up to the parent to handle. So what we are going to, I'm going to add another function somewhere right in here, and we're going to call this function final function. This is going to be a string optional, and this is going to be called actually make this optional too, and we're going to call this on editing complete. So that's when the function will be called, and I'm going to add it in here. There you go. But right now we actually make, okay, what do we want to pass up to the user? We want to be able to pass up the whatever is being typed in here, and also the icon that has been selected by the user. It makes sense to also pass those icons up. So let's see. Okay, for the icon selection, show custom dropdown, which is this section, and okay, first of all, let's work on the test first. Be able to save the test. Let's work on that. So it should be, yeah, right in here. I'm gonna replace this on editing function with our function. I'm just gonna say, okay, if this is not empty, go ahead and call widget dot on editing complete, and in here I'm gonna pass in controller.test to it. There you go. See. like this, not equals to no. Most of the times, if you are writing that, kind of like feels like you are writing JavaScript a bit, kind of like, yeah, resembles JavaScript features and other stuff. So a function that can't be unconditionally invoked because it can be null. Try adding a null shake to it. Nope. Okay, want this to only be called when this is not empty, and also make sure that the widget on editing is not null. So that's when you can be able to call this function. Okay, that makes sense. And save that. Now we can go up to where we are using this particular custom button that should be inside our sidebar. Right here inside our sidebar, we could just get access to the on editing complete function that we just called. We could actually call this test. There you go. And right now we want to be able to save this within our database as an update for our list right in here. So what we could do next, wait a second, trying to see. So tab block add to do's block add, so this for loading to do's, and this for adding a tab right in here. But what we are looking to do is to actually be able to save or call basically to be able to update our list right in here. So let's see, not to list drop down, not to list input. We should be looking at the list tab. Yeah, list tab has okay to do list and current index. So okay, so this is what we're looking for, list blocks. So list blocks is what the one we want to update. So we're going to go in here. So we already have delete to do list, which is working. We already implemented that. Update to do list and add to do list. So in here, the ones we have implemented is load to do list, the event. Whenever there's an event for add a to do list, that's also actually implemented already. And if there's an event for to do list loaded events, do some stuff, delete, but we haven't added update. So I'm going to say on event update to do list. Yeah, go ahead and call a function. I'm going to create called map update to do list to states. That's cool, but we need to go ahead and implement this function right away. So I'm gonna go straight down below here. First of all, it's gonna be a future. So I'm gonna say there should be a future of type void, and go ahead and paste this. It's going to kind of like, we need some parameters to be passed into it. One should be called update to do list, which is the event. And next is actually emitter go. And it should be asynchronous. I can do the rest in here, so I'm going to copy some of this code right in here to do some 1 or 2 stuff. So there we go. And let's see. Okay, updated to-dos, to-do list, update where to do the ID is not equals to no, should be similar to this one. Yeah, not the delete one. So just go ahead and move this, paste this, and do some changes. So basically right in here, we're going to update by saying add to the list, and the list what we want to add is going to be called events dot updated to do list. There you go. And oh, this is gonna cause an issue. Instead of adding it, let's see. Okay, so leave this as add. Well, I guess this might actually cause a duplicate within our list, but let's actually see. Should definitely cause a duplicate. Okay, let's just save this and go ahead and try using this. So in here within our sidebar, there you go, this is our sidebar. Within our sidebar, we're gonna say get access to the list input block, not list input block, what we are looking for, final to do list block should be also block provider context and the type is list. So this is type, should be the type right in here, list block. There you go. We could just copy the variable name. We could just use that right in here. So I'm going to say list block dot add an event, and this event is called updated to do list, and is actually expecting a type called to do list, and this is currently our to do, the current to do that we are actually, the user is actually tapping on. So that makes sense right here. So I'm going to get that from active list of this index. Let's say final updated list is equals to b this, dot name should be equals to because we are changing the name, so that should be the new test, and close it. So now we could just pass in updated list in here, close this off, and if you go ahead and save this right away, and let's try to restart our app so you can actually see what we are doing. Tab, double tap, edit, there you go, personal edit, and then hit the enter key. Now you actually see that this is now showing up twice within our list, within our sidebar, I mean to say. So, and that's not expected behavior that we want to actually achieve. So let's see how to make that not happen. So since this is actually our to-do list state, that has all our to-dos and all those stuff, we could, instead of adding, or we could filter where figure out how we can actually do this. Think the functionality, I think, have an idea somewhere. I think I did some stuff. Okay, update to do, okay, to do the map where id is equals to event id. If it's true, pass in else this and convert it to do list. Okay, yeah, I got something to copy and paste. So we're gonna something that's going to work. So this is basically going to work, and we just copied and pasted. Let's copy the idea. Don't need to do so much any more work on it. So I'm gonna replace whatever we have in here with this, and it should be the state as to do loaded dot to do list dot map, and we got hold of the to do list. I'm going to say return to do. I can rename this to do list. Makes sense. Much better to identify what we are doing here. So this is called to do list, and we are going to filter where to do list.id is equals to event dot updated to do list.id. If that is true, I'm going to call event dot updated to do list, else passing the to do list in here. If that doesn't exist, just passing to do list and just convert this to a list and update whatever we so currently have within our sidebar. If you go ahead and restart this and try this functionality again, so let's go ahead and edit this first one. Double tap, edit, and double tap, edit. Yeah, so you can actually edit right now. So I'm gonna say personal edit, and then hit the enter key, and you can actually see that this is no longer kind of like duplicating itself within our sidebar. So there's no duplicate, but it's actually being currently shown here, but it's not persisted within our DB, so you guys can actually see it. But let's go ahead and persist this within our DB and see how this works. So let's go back in here. I'm gonna have a function right here. I'm gonna call this function to be update to do list, and we have to pass in a to do list event dot updated to do list to it, just like that, and we are good to go. So but we need to create this function. We haven't created it yet, so I think just down below here I have a future of type void. Just what did I just do? Yeah, future of type void. So void basically means do not return anything, or I can just leave it like this, but it makes sense to actually give it a return type, which is void in this case. You can do it this way or you can do it this way. It's still the same stuff, but this kind of makes more sense. So I'm gonna call this updates. What was the function name again? Yeah, I just forgot that. Yeah, paste, delete, accept a parameter called to do list, to do, and in here basically return from our to do repository dot update to do. But this update to do is actually for updating a normal to do, not updating the to do list. So that's not going to work in our own case. What we need to do right now is to create a function that will actually help us to update our to do list within our repository. So within my repository, I'm going to create a new function here inside the abstract class, and this is basically future update to do. Remove this. I'm going to add a comment in here. This is for updating to do to do's. Below it, create another one, future. What did we actually call it? We gave it a name. Okay, let's call this update to do list. The only parameter is going to have the parameter signature is basically this and nothing else. Cap it off to close it. I don't think I'm missing any other stuff, but I need to add a documentation right here. I'm gonna say this is for updating the to do this in this sidebar. Once we save that, so we're gonna have some errors. We just need to fix one of these stuff. So one should be starting from here, because all these are actually implementing the abstract class, and whenever the abstract class is actually updated with any new information, this is safe, or this needs to be actually updated also. So save that. And another one is the repository. It's a local repository. This we can actually use mixing, flutter mixing, to just add that functionality to one particular repository, but that's going to cause some issues later on down the line. So I think this might be a better option. That's just what I'm thinking at the moment from my head. I haven't just kind of given it much thought, so I don't know what you guys think. If you think there's another better way to actually be able to update the abstract class and also update the any classes that implements it or extends it. So I'm gonna call it db.update to do this, and we need to pass a list to it. Okay, are we missing any stuff? Okay, this has to be marked as an asynchronous function. Yeah, just mark it as a synchronous function. I think we are done in this case. Okay, next stuff, key value storage needs to implement this function that we just added. In this case, we don't need to fully implement it here, so just throw unimplemented error if someone wants to call it. But we fully need to implement it right in here. So right in here is where we fully need to implement that particular function, and I'm going to delete this also. So how do we need to implement this? I'm just going to do some copy and pasting. It's much faster than actually thinking through our head how to do this. Basically, we have done it before, so it's not something new. It's basically the same code that we have here, just need to modify it a bit. So this one just helps us to update our to-do. We just modify it a bit and we could be able to update our to-do list. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, guys. So I'm gonna say it should be async, mark this to be asynchronous, and I'm gonna delete most of the stuff I have right in here. To do entity, okay, that's strange. So to do entity, okay, not this is not what we're looking for. I'm gonna say to do list, yeah, which Isar DB dot to do list. Okay, yeah, that works. The filter where ID dot equals to list dot ID dot find first, the first one that matches to that, get hold of that for us. Next we want to basically update it, so I'm gonna say to do list to update, to do list to update is equals to this, whatever is being gotten in here. I'm gonna say its notes, so it doesn't have notes. Basically what it has is what we call dot name. So name, okay, yeah, name will be equals to list dot name. Or we can actually go ahead and pass this directory to inside our to do Isar DB dot to do list to update directory. That was, I think that will still actually work, but let's actually see if that will work. So I'm gonna say Isar to do list dot put. For now I'm gonna comment this out, and also we're going to comment this out also, and I'm gonna update this by just passing in list right in there, nothing more, nothing less. So just save, and once we got that saved, so let's go back to our list block right in here. So I'm gonna call update to do list and pass in list, not to do, so it should be called to do list, and passing our to do list right in there. Save. Are we missing any stuff? Okay, I need to mark this to be, do I need to mark this to be asynchronous? Okay, async, oh wait, save. I think we are good to go. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good. We definitely good. Let's try this one more time. So here we go. So let's try hit the enter key on this. Did it submit or did it not? Let's try the starting our app. It actually worked. Yeah, it worked. So you can actually see the personal edit is actually being replaced. The previous one is being replaced with personal edit. So let's try again. Try editing this another time with different stuff. So I'm gonna say personal theory, theory of my life, whatever. Enter, and once you hit the enter key, so restart, and we're going to change this so that the user can be able to see it immediately, but for now we're just being able to restart. So you can actually see this updated, it's now personal theory. If you go ahead and restart this, it's still the same personal theory. So it's actually updating our list, but the issue we are having is that when you actually tap on edit and hit this enter, we should be able to actually save this and also close this drop down and also revert this back to previously what it was, and that's basically what we need to do. The next step we need to do, so that shouldn't be too hard to do, I guess. So should be inside a custom button. Definitely say when this is being called, go ahead and close the drop down And how are we actually opening a drop down in the first place? So we open the drop down by when we tap on that. Okay, yeah, we taps. Yeah, when we tap on this whole stuff, the drop down is being opened right in here. But we want to be able to hide the drop down, so which is basically calling this function should hide our drop down. We need to call that function right below here to hide the drop down. And once we hide the drop down, we also want to reset this back to normal. We have to figure out how do we reset this back to normal. Can edit. So drop down block. So we have something called drop down block we can actually listen to. Where is our build? Okay. Yeah, within this place, we could actually go ahead and do something like final drop down. Yeah, drop down block is equals to block provider dot off drop down block and context, close that off. And now we could just update the drop down block, because previously when you tap on this, what we are saying, when you tap on the edit button, yeah, we are opening a drop down. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So in our own case, so if drop down is open, so can edit should be working, and we need to reset the drop down. So I'm gonna say this dot add an event, and this event is basically going to be called update drop down tab, and the tab that we want to update, okay, yeah, we're gonna use drop down enum enumeration, drop down enum dot close the drop down, and also go ahead and let's set to index 0. Script constant. Am I missing any stuff? So why is it showing us there's an error? Prefer constant, add constant. Okay, that worked. But the index that we want to actually okay, yeah, let's try this. So let's leave it at this index right away. Let's leave it at this index. Go ahead and try this. So if I tap enter, so that worked. So you can actually see the whole thing is being reset. So if you go ahead and restart our app, that's working, that's cool. Tap over here, double tap, edit. So try changing this from personal theory to personal health, and hit the enter key. That's cool. You can actually see this whole stuff is now updated to personal health. And if you go ahead and restart our app, it's still being persisted in our DB, in our database. It's still persisted as personal health, the same stuff over here. Next is that we want to be able to also update the icon next to it. Right now we're able to update the text, but we still want to update the icon also. So it makes sense for the user to actually decide to change the icons they have right now to a different icon. So let's see how that works. So when the user actually so this is the place where the user they are actually able to change the icons they want. Yeah, this helps them to change the icons. So we have selected color and selected emoji. Okay, I see, I saw. thinking out loud here. So okay, this what is actually helping us to update this, update the get hold of the icon that the user is selecting, because the user can actually select an icon. If you go to edit, tap on this, you can actually be able to select different icons, even emojis, stuff like that. But this is not actually looking sharp, so I think maybe after fixing this, then we can actually go ahead and fix this one to actually look good on its own also. Actually see that it's working, and yeah, that goes off. So let's see how to do this. So what I want to do is to get hold of the icon that the user is selected, right? If the user selected any icon, and when they hit the enter key, I just want to pass in this icon right in here, pass it right in here. Also, yeah, I should pass it right in here to update the parent. Or we could actually brought our block provider in here to actually directly update the hoster from in here. But I don't think that's a good idea, but we can actually pass up the states. Yeah, we can do that. So we can actually have more parameters around right in here. So we could just say, let's say that the user added, because you can select an icon and also a color at the same time. You can only select a color or an icon. You can select both at the same time. So if that's the case, if that's true, so that means we can work this out. So I would say this function should be able to accept 3 parameters, 3 of them. So one, the next one should be a string, optional, and this is for passing in our icon emoji. The next one should be an integer, optional, and this should be for passing in our color that the user selected in an int value of our color. So if we have all these 3 aligned together for good, so we could just go ahead over here and pass it. So I'll say the first one is called for emoji, so current selected emoji. Next one is for current selected color. We are good to go. I think we fixed that. I think I did. Yeah, we just fixed it. And there you go. So we can actually have access to it in a sidebar right here. So this needs to have, this one is actually emoji, next is color, and I could say that this dot emoji is equals to whatever new emoji has been selected. Next color is equals to whatever color is being selected by the user. So just pass in the color property right in there, save. Let's take this for a test drive also and see if this actually works. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap on love story and double tap edit. So now shows up for edit. I'm gonna change the emoji to something different. Maybe this emoji with the speak, and then when we hit the enter key, I think that works. I think it worked. So if we go ahead and restart, yeah, that's working. So we got an emoji with an eye icon over there. Hi, thanks Shamas Kavi. Thanks for the words here. I really appreciate. Yeah, so basically if when you update this, you can actually see that this is actually updated. Can decide to double tap, edit again, change the color. In this case we can actually go ahead and use color, any color. So let's try a good color. Right now we don't have much colors to select from, but I'm thinking later on we can add more colors, guys. Yeah, like a bunch of colors in here to actually select from. So with colors, just hit the enter key and you can actually see this is being updated right away. So our new color is this. It's no longer an emoji but now a color. If you go ahead and restart, you can actually see that it's been persisted within our DB, within our database. So it's still the same icon, which is color in this case, no longer an emoji. So yeah, that's it in this case. I think next up we can actually do, if you take a look, when you tap on this and when you tap on edit, when you tap on this to select icons or color, you can actually see that this is looking off, it's not good, and we're having this overflow issues and all this stuff within here. What we could do is to be able to change this to make this look nice, big, like the same way it actually looks here. So if you tap on there, you see how it looks here, it looks better. So we want to use the same stuff here in here too. So that's what we're trying to do. So be able to use the same stuff right in here also. So there you go. But let's go ahead and work on it. So first of all, that should be, what's it called again? What was that? Yeah, within our custom button, and that's currently from here, show reusable drop down, and we are passing in emoji drop down inside it, and our reusable drop down, go to definition, has a fixed width, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. It actually has a fixed width, but we don't want it to be a fixed width, so we can actually have a way to have this dynamic. So I'm going to say required, or instead of saying required, I could actually say double, which could be no, and I'm going to say max width. No, yeah, max width should start up in 200. Yeah, 200.0. We could just use that right in here in place of this. So I'd use anybody that uses our reusable drop down can be able to change the width if they want. So just use the max width right in here. So this doesn't need a constant anymore. This is complaining that this might be no. Max width shouldn't be no, but this is complaining that this might be no. In that case, I'm going to force unwrap it because I know it's not going to be no. Yeah, it's actually provided because we already provided a default value right in here, so it's not going to be no. With that being said and done, we could go back to our drop down where we used it within, oh no, not this, within our app right in here, and we could actually pass a width, a max width to it. Let's try something like 300. The previous show drop down we used we used it in our custom form for here. It has kind of like, let's see the width. Okay, max width is 380. Makes sense to actually use the same 380 right in here. So I'm gonna say this should be 380. We can actually go ahead and go more forward and make this a constant, since we have used it in two places, and might actually be able to match, actually be able to use it in another place. So makes sense to actually make it a constant, which I will show you guys how we could actually do that. I think we have a util folder, and inside a util folder, do we have a constant file? So we have a constant for colors, so these are constant for colors. We have a constant for dummy data, we have a constant for theme, we have a constant for typography, but we don't have a constant for just numbers or something like that. We could just create one. I would say custom dimensions dot that. Should be a class called custom dimension. It's going to have a static type constant. In this case, I'm going to call this drop down max width. Drop down max width. We could actually say drop down max width should be 380.0, and static constant k drop down minimum width, mean width, so that should be minimum, mean width should be equals to 200.0, cap it, close. Is there any other stuff we are missing from our custom journal creation? Okay. I'm gonna make this so custom dimension. There we go. Okay, now we can actually go ahead and use this within our app. In place of whatever we have these 380 hard coded, just replace every single one of them. So the first place we're going to replace is the custom bar right in here. So this should use custom dimension dot drop down max width. That's cool. The next place we're going to replace this with is within our drop down itself right here. We actually hard coded it here, so I'm gonna replace it dot minimum drop down. So this is minimum width, so this will still work. Let's go ahead and restart our app and see if we are having any issues that we need to fix. So if you tap on this, double tap, edit, and this is still small. Yeah, still actually it didn't glow. It's still small. Let's see why that is the case. So I have max width right in here, and So we're having an issue because the width we actually gave to it still is not being recognized. It's not registering it. So let's see. This will actually allow us to have the element in a bigger way, but it's kind of like restricting it. So something, I think we did something wrong somewhere. Yeah, just have to figure it out where we messed up a bit. Let's see, it should be somewhere right in here. I'm guessing it should be somewhere here. Emoji drop down, go to definition. Within our emoji drop down, we have a column right in here. We could have a sized box. Let's try wrapping it to the size box. Okay, now that's something. That's something. Come on. Let's do. Okay, gonna try this until I figure out what is going on, because I could actually see that it's not stretching, it's not actually growing to a proper width. Position element right in here. Okay, we have our size box, so we are trying to kind of like hard code some width values to it and see if that's going to change it and see where these errors is coming from. Probably from one of these right in here. But if this didn't fix it, so I'm going to dismantle the whole stuff, the whole drop down widgets, and kind of like build it from scratch and see where we're having the issues from. Let's see, take a quiz. Okay, I have this. I'm gonna go ahead and restart. Double tap. Okay, this works. So I kind of like expanded it the way I want it to actually look like. Okay, fine. So probably this is the issue. So this is where we are having the issue from. So this is what is causing the issue that we are having. Let's see. So let's say we made this to be max width again. Max width. Just these three changes. Just make them max width and try doing this again and see if that's the case. Okay, so that's the case. And since we figured out, so that's basically one way to actually do some debugging. There's other ways. You can actually use inspect widgets to inspect to see where the issues is coming from, and I usually do forget this most of the times, but it's actually very handy. You just kind of use it to debug your layouts errors and all those stuff. So right now we have an idea where this is coming from. So we have this max drop down width right here. So let's try hard coding this to be 600. And you can actually see that didn't work at all, so it didn't work, and that's where our problem is coming from. So it's not actually passing in the value, this max width value. What if we make this to be required? It is required. So if max width is required, should be able to pass the value in. So that means if we go to bar right in here, okay, we have one more place to actually fix it. Reusable drop down should have max width to be 600. Just for testing, just so I just hard coding this value at the moment for testing purposes, to actually get it right. Okay, I see. That worked. What if just use this to use custom dimension. Yeah, custom dimension the max width, copy, the same right here, custom dimension, the mask width. Let's see. Yeah, we changed it right here. We changed it right here, and also changed it right here. I think we are good to go. Try this again. Okay, yeah, that's working much better, so that's fine. Right, we actually got it working. If you tap, double tap, edit, select, there it shows up. You can actually have our emojis showing up perfectly good, and the user can actually select colors and other stuff. You can tap on this, it goes away, tap again to select the next one, so that's actually fine. Double tap, edit, there you go, head and edit. I think we are good to go. Yeah, I think this is okay right now, and we got this working. So we are able to actually have a way to edit our list and also change the icons of each list. We are able to delete our list also from our app. What else do we work on? Is there any other stuff we are missing? Okay, yeah, I think that's what we should be doing so far. Yeah, and that's working. That's cool. Let's try this one more time again. So let's first of all start with the big first one. Let's start with creating a new list. So I'm going to create a new list called this so let's try this. What's the name again? I'm gonna call this, what should we call this? Okay, new year list. Yeah, new year list. Let's give it the name new year list. Select the icon or any stuff. Let's look for an icon. Okay, an eye icon. Let's use the eye icon. Then go ahead and save this. Now we got our new year list, and we can actually add some dummy stuff in here. Get some projects done, save, get some work done, save. And also we could actually go ahead and tick off all this. Okay, that's an issue. So basically this and this is actually ticking off at the same time, I guess. Okay, because it has the same name. Okay, maybe our it's no longer ticking. Okay, it goes off because we're actually ticking together at the same time before. Okay, so right now we can actually go ahead and delete these ones that we currently have here. You can just drag and drop, it gets deleted, and that's gone. Then this, you can edit this if you want. I'll just call this new year without the list part, then change the icon to something different. And then save. There you go, you got another list, and you can also delete it, and the whole stuff is being deleted. Yeah, so that's it so far. So that's basically what we have. Yeah, Margaret, what's up? That's been good. Yeah, the progress has been fine. Yeah, actually been doing a whole lot of stuff lately, been adding some features to the app. Yeah, basically, yeah, we added some edit feature to the list, delete feature. Next we'll be working on duplicate, share, and download. Yeah, maybe later on. But for now, let's focus on mobile section. So I think we already done most of the stuff we need for the list. Yeah, one more. Yeah, the next stuff I actually missed to tell you guys. Yeah, here we'll be adding some functions like saving a file. So you can actually save a file in here. Once you type a file name, it will help you to upload a file within your to-do. I think I'll show you a snapshot of how that works. I've not fully kind of like fully implemented it yet. Still kind of like have some issues, but this is basically what it should look like. That should be within our main view, right? Main screen. So let me show you guys. Where is it? Yeah, I got it. So there you go. And this is how this should work. On delete, call back. And also we have to mash whenever there is a file, something like that. If you go ahead and save this right away and restart our app for that to actually show up. Sure, thanks. So let's do that. So I'm gonna say file. You can actually see this is being highlighted. So once you type a file in here, it's been highlighted. So the next stuff is just actually to show you a drop down, but I haven't implemented that section yet. So it shows you a drop down to pick a file, and once you pick a file, you just replace whatever is in here with the file name that you just picked. But if you want to add a file to your to-do, just type the file keyword and we just show you a drop down. The drop down will be implemented later on, but right now I'm just adding the suggestion part whereby you can just do this, kind of like auto suggest, and you can just keep on typing whatever you want to type later on. If you want to type a note for the to-do, just / and start writing a note for the to-do. So this basically so far what the input field is looking has gotten it towards to. As you kind of trying to implement some more stuff to it, trying to see what we can actually do with Flutter. There's more stuff you can do with Flutter. There's more ways you can build some amazing stuff using Flutter and so stuff like that. Yeah, that's it so far. So let's go back to what else. Yeah, getting this to work on mobile. So on mobile, I need some work on mobile. So if you have this on a mobile device, or basically on a mobile width, so this is actually a mobile width, you can actually drag from the left and have this minimized to this portion. Isn't that cool? You can just go back, drag from the left again, you can have this minimized this way. Then you can actually add, and we are going to work on this today right now, finish this part on, and you can just drag, stop, drag, cancel. And if you have this on a bigger device, let's say on a bigger width, you can't actually drag. The dragging will stop working, so you can't drag. If you try to drag from the left, it won't work. If you just try to drag from the right, it won't work. So and you can actually try that on a mobile device. So let's try that on a mobile device. I'm going to stop this from running, and then we could just try it on a mobile device that we currently have right in here. So I'm going to say this, select iPhone 12 Pro Max. Yeah. Okay, we are just, I think, okay, something stopped. So yeah, I was actually trying to run this on my iPhone, not on the simulator. So I have to go back and run it on the simulator. Select the simulator, go back and tap on the run command. So I actually have try to see if this is going to work. Let's see, come on. It's mostly kind of like takes within from 1 to 2 minutes to actually be able, not up to 1 minute, let's say maximum of 1 minute, yeah, to be able to actually build your app. And that actually depends on your CPU or device you are using. So you can actually see how this works on mobile device. Actually, it looks good. Just so let me go ahead and kind of like talk about the reason why I'm using this. So the reason why I implemented this is because there's no way to actually show our sidebar on a smaller device. So you know that previously we were able to show our sidebar on a bigger device. So when the width of the device is actually big, you can be able to show the sidebar. But since the width is actually small, it doesn't make any sense to actually show the sidebar here. So if you are showing the sidebar, actually look like kind of like you're dividing the two screen into smaller parts. One will be sidebar. The user it doesn't actually make sense in the user experience or UX way or something like that. So that's why I'm having a way. So in this way, we are going to move our sidebar to be in here. So our sidebar will be here, and this will be our main view. If you want to kind of like select a menu or a list, you just toggle this like this and then tap on any bar that you want to select, and that kind of like gets to work. This actually, I implemented this by myself. I'm not with a package. There's no flutter package used. Just implemented from ground up. But I'm going to show you guys actually the code behind it, and then we could go back to modify this more and just add the sidebar in here. So let's do that. So this is how it should work. So if I scroll up, I need to delete. Do I need to delete this? We can just leave it this for now until we do our next code refactoring, and then we can delete some of this stuff. So it's called custom drawer. So basically it's a stateful widget called a custom drawer that needs a child widget in it, and the child widget is basically the whole app. This is where we used it in our run app function. And inside our app, the first widget for your flutter app. So in here we passed, and inside the home we are passing the custom drawer. Within inside the custom drawer, we are passing the main screen as the child of the custom drawer. So that's one way to actually get this to work. So this becomes the child of this. So let's go to custom drawer. We added this to be able to get hold of the parent state from the child. So the child, which is this, can access the parent state, the current parent's access to state, and this helps us to actually get that to work. Next, we added some parameters here like animations, minimum drag, start age, max slide, and so many stuff. I think the first place I actually saw this implementation was from a flutter developer from, I think he's from Poland. Yeah. Kind of like he's the one that I kind of like studied his implementation, and I was able to actually use it. So basically this stuff right here is from one of my projects, one of my old flutter project called Emulates Flights. You can actually see that on my Instagram. It's called Emulates Flights, just for showcasing how to book flights with Emulates airline. So that's one of my projects that contains this. So I just pick it out from my old project and just added into this new project that we're using. Then we have all these functions for closing. Basically, closing is basically reversing an animation. Opening is basically forwarding an animation. Basically, all these stuff are animations and transform widgets. So you just use a transform widget and animation to accomplish all this stuff we're seeing here. There's nothing much there, yeah, I think that's the basics. So you have to listen to drag gestures when something is being dragged on it. So you can just listen to drag gestures in here. Know some calculations that goes in there, and on drag updates, as the user is kind of keep on dragging, this undrag update will be called, and then you can know where the current values and all those stuff are currently at, maybe the current location or stuff like that. And then you have undrag end. So this is being called when the user stops dragging the UI. When they stops dragging, this is being called. Then you can notice, you can know when to close or open. So yeah, let's say the user drags to this point, that means you have to close. But if the user drags to this point, that means you have to open, you can't close anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Nothing much in there. So the source code is actually I will post it on GitHub. You guys can actually look into it and see how the whole stuff works. Maybe I might even do another video on it and just explain how all this kind of stuff works on its own. But I've kind of like touched more on the basics of how to get this to work. So first of all, we need to be able to add our drop down in here, so I can actually show up instead of what we have here. I don't need this anymore. We just need to add our own drop down in there. So let's see how that is going to work. First, let's go to our previous drop down, not drop down, our sidebar. I made a mistake. We're supposed to add our sidebar in here instead of what we have here. Just add our sidebar, and we can achieve that. Okay, let's see our sidebar. So these are former sidebar. We might actually, no, I don't want to copy this whole sidebar. I just need to copy some parts of it that we need, which is this part, I guess. We have the drop down, to do list state, list block. Yeah, the list block state. Yeah, just copy this all the way to this point, and then add that inside a custom drawer and see what we can actually achieve. Just basically delete what we have in here. Go ahead and paste the code format. So we're gonna have some errors that we need to fix. First, I'll need to import this. So basically, let's go ahead and import block provider, then import, close, import our list block. Also this, import our custom button. Import our brand color. We need these stuff right here that we're missing, so we need to add those ones. See, just basically delete this. I don't need this. We don't need that. We don't also need this. Just get this sidebar. So the code for those stuff that we needed to copy is right at the top here. I just need to copy them. Custom drawer. and add them also at the top right here. I think we are good to go. Are we missing any stuff? Okay, these ones. And this, I'm gonna set the current index to be 0 at the moment, and to actually be able to get most of these to actually work better. And there you go. You can actually view so this is actually 2 showing up in there, but we already know that our list block is more than 2. It's definitely more than 2, and maybe we could just make this list, just use a list view or a single child scroll view. Okay, that throws more error. Let's have a single child scroll view right at the top over there. So basically what we are trying to achieve is to basically have this sidebar in a full width, but we are having some issues on that, so we'll return this, return a container else, return a single scroll view. Yeah, we're still having the same issue with the height. And let's so you actually see that this is kind of like cropping the height of the widget, hiding it at that point. So let's see how could have this showing fully. Come on. Where are we getting it wrong? Come on. Okay, now we need to remove this constant from here. Try to save this. Still not getting anywhere. The width is still being cropped at this point, so still the same stuff. So I'm gonna undo whatever we did so far because we're still on the same problem. So undo, 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 undo. Yeah. So just undid the whole stuff. Let's see. Hope I didn't add any other stuff in here. Okay. So I will go straight down to this point and try to actually remove most of these widgets. So I'm going to remove the we'll leave the padding widget. I'm going to remove the column widget. Do we need it? Do I need it? I think I need it for closing it. So yeah, adding this in there. So I'm still gonna leave it. Plus has this alignment from the start. funny thing is that the issue might be just a tiny stuff with kind of like you're missing that's causing these whole problems. I'm going to go ahead and remove this also. Okay, that's cool. We are left with a column right in here. Just remove that and try removing this column widget that we have in there, and then replace it with our own widget and see if we can actually make a progress with that. So I'm going to replace this with our one and only sidebar widget, our list view widget, something like that. It's still the same problem, the same issue that we are still having. To the previous design, let's share this. I'm going to comment this code out, comment our own code out, as I'm almost kind of like getting angry right now on why we are having this issue. So once it's empty, so the width is kind of like shrinks all the way to the left hand side, because there's nothing to actually expand it, and there's actually the current width of this shell. Maybe if we go ahead and add actually see some stuff. So let's maybe if we go ahead and add a size box here, I know it's gonna fix the width problem. Actually say width media query dot of context dot size dot width. Save that. Yeah, should take the full width. That one worked, but I'm trying to see why it's not taking the full height. if you go this way, it's still kind of like listing all the tabs. Yeah, it still works. So you're able to list all these tabs in here, and that still works. But I think the issue is basically from our own code. I think that's the case. Yeah. Oh no, I messed up. Yeah, that's from our own code. So our own code is the one causing the issue, and not the parents widget that we are actually adding our code into. So this basically our own block of code is what we need to fix. Let's see how we could actually fix that. Fix our own to work in here. Need to go ahead and start adding all this stuff again. Okay, there you go. So I can able to shrink the width. I'm just gonna copy this just for testing this out to see what the issues is from. If you copy that makes us to basically hide whatever changes that we made in here. There you go. Next, get where this is index. For now, let's hardcode this index. Set it to be 0, and this path I'm just gonna delete that. We don't need this at the moment. So basically, save, and you can actually see this being listed within our sidebar here. So this is actually a functionality what we are looking, the layout we are looking to have. But for some reason, I think maybe the block builder is the one kind of like causing the error in here. That's what I'm thinking. Let's try. So we're returning a material UI. I'm gonna remove the material UI, remove safe area. Do we still need that? We could just wrap this with a builder Isar. Let's try this out. The builder is a block builder. That's the type of the builder we're going to return in here. A block builder. Let's get this in. I should have what we call active list. And this will be conditionally rendered depending on the current states of our list block. So we could actually say something like, if this one, see, if this block, so if active list is loading, show some different UI. If active list is to-do list loaded, okay, I see what we can actually do. We can actually go back and check again. So I'm gonna say if active list is first, if it's active list is to-do list loading, there you go. If that's the case, go ahead and return a container else. If active is to-do list loaded, if that's the case, go ahead and return this. Finally, we have another else here. We could just go ahead and return an empty container. Okay, that's not gonna work because parents is not a material view, so we gonna need to revert all our changes. Okay, so still having an issue. That's what do you guys think the issue is in this case? Why we are having these our widget not rendering issues on widget, the width, the heights of the widget are kind of too small to render. We have tried some debugging, trying to do some stuff. It didn't work, but like messing my head right now. Okay, guys, looks like we are gonna stop here, and we will come back to this in our next stream, which is tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna do another stream tomorrow. I'm trying to make sure we actually build this and finish it up. I'm gonna look into it with my head clean, see what is the problem and what I'm actually doing wrong for past few minutes right now. Okay, I think that's it. So have a nice day, everyone. Thank you guys for joining. See you guys tomorrow in our next stream. Yeah, let me know what you guys think for today's stream. Just leave me a comment under the video in the YouTube, and also if you're following me on my YouTube, you could just also leave me a comment on the YouTube too.